Welcome to the Modern Skein podcast. My name is Sharon Graff and I am the owner of the Modern Skein, which is a yarn shop here in Montgomery, Texas, just north of Houston, in case you have no idea where Montgomery, Texas is. It is a small little town, but the birthplace of the Texas flag. Fun fact for you. And yeah, we're about with traffic, we're about an hour north of the greater Houston, or not greater. We are still technically in greater Houston, sort of. Houston's big, FYI. The city itself is like 62, 64 miles across, just the city itself. And that's not counting outer loops and greater Houston area, suburbs, the whole kit and caboodle. So, if there was no traffic, would probably be about 30 minutes from downtown, to be totally honest. But that doesn't happen. And now for the elephant in the room. Hi. So, this has definitely put a kink in my knitting. But long story short, it's tendonitis, or the beginnings of tendonitis. And it's not from knitting, thankfully. Knitting does actually not affect it, and I can take the brace off and knit, and it doesn't hurt. I actually have a different brace that I'm going to be trying out because it's this thing that keeps my fingers, and it's not my fingers, it's my wrist. So I have like just a wrist plane immobilizer to try out this afternoon. But anywho, tendonitis from working out, actually. I had a wrist injury many months ago, and it wasn't like an injury, it was like a sprain. Oh, I guess that's an injury. A wrist like hyperextension kind of a sprain, and I didn't really do anything about it. Kept working out and complaining about it, and then when I took my CrossFit break and my workout break, I had to just take a pause from working out in general, and everything healed up, and I completely forgot that my wrist had been hurting. And then I started back at my new gym that I'm working out at F45 Fitness, and there we do a lot. Almost every time there is some, either a burpee or a push-up or something where your wrist is, you know, in this position, but on the floor. This is just really weird. So, you know, your wrist is, you got your body weight on your wrist. Obviously, if you've done a push-up, you're pushing your body up. Anyway, so we do that sort of an exercise, you know, plank, push-up, burpee, mountain climber, something where you're putting your body weight on your wrist almost every time. Not all of them every time, but almost one of those movements almost every time. So anyway, I noticed like, oh man, I can only do like 2 days of working out and then it hurts. And then I would like take a break and it would hurt again. Totally forgot. And then yesterday, which was Wednesday, it hurt so bad I thought I had broken my wrist. Like, it was that bad. And right around Thanksgiving time, it had really hurt bad. And then with Thanksgiving and Black Friday and everything, I wasn't at the gym for almost a week. And I was like, oh, it's fine. It was just overuse. It's fine. And that is exactly what it is. It's just hyper use, not from knitting, thankfully, but weight bearing exercise things. I'm not the doctor. I'm not an expert. I just read the little thing. So anyway, this sucker, basically I have to keep it immobile, my wrist immobile for 10 days. And then of course I have like a, you know, anti-inflammatory and all that fun stuff. And then keep it braced during like workouts, and not to do any not weight bearing exercise, but basically in that position where my wrist is bearing the weight, for up to 90 days. So that fully heals. So thankfully only 10 days of this, although I will probably be wearing a brace at night And the reason that is because of how I sleep. I sleep very janky, and usually my wrist ends up like all cockamamie under my head. Not this one, this one. And I think that is a big contributor to it. So I'm gonna talk to my doc, but I'm thinking maybe not this one, but a brace at night so that I can't kink it up all night. We mentioned that once before and he was like, that's not really good. And I'm like, I know, but that's how I sleep. So you know how hard it is to try and change your sleeping position? At least for me. I can't. By the way, we're almost 6 minutes in, and this is a knitting podcast, FYI. It's not a what's my orthopedic injury podcast. But if you've stuck around, hi, welcome. This is week 3 of Vlogmas, as I do it here. So for Vlogmas, a lot of times YouTubers and podcasters do a daily episode. There's no way I can do a daily episode, you guys. Although yesterday would have been really comical because yesterday was the day of mishaps, misfortunes, miss everything with this, and refrigerator glass breaking and almost fires and all that stuff. Let's just say by like 9 a.m. I was Googling if Mercury was in retrograde, and guess what? It had gone into retrograde like at midnight the night before. So Mercury's in the microwave, retrograde, whatever, for sure. And yeah, just don't want to be dealing with any of that anymore. So let's get on to knitting content. Fun fact, I have figured out how to knit with this sucker. And like I said, I can also take it off and just wrap my actual wrist and be perfectly fine. The way that I knit, I use my fingers, fingers and thumb. I don't move my wrist to knit. I know that sounds weird thinking about it, but my wrist doesn't move to knit. So I can keep my arm like propped up on a pillow and knit just with my fingers. I can't knit this with this brace on though because of this lippy thing, which is stupid. Anyway, I can't knit my normal way. The only way I can knit with this brace on is if I throw, which is weird because I hate throwing unless I'm doing color work, and then it's two-handed and it goes faster, but just regular knitting, throwing, I can't do it. It's too slow for me. I'm not fast at it. So anyway, this has impacted my knitting a little bit, but I do still have a finished object to show you and some progress that is being made, even though it's not as much as I wanted. So let's get started. My finished object is my Grace Notes. I finished it. Yay! Now I can't remember if I actually finished my train of thought where I said that I was doing Vlogmas. Yeah, if I didn't, I'm just doing an episode a week rather than one every day. Do not remember if I actually finished that train of thought or not. So this is my Grace Notes pullover from Locatelli. I used Estate DK. Man, getting things to hold with just your fingers is a little rough. This is Estate DK from Red Stag Fibre in the colorway Jewel of the King. And this is going to be my Christmas Eve sweater. So this is all blocked, all tidied up, ready to go. I even wove in the ends. I know, who am I? Maybe that's why I upset the universe by weaving in my ends. Anywho, that's finished. Now, by the way, if I didn't say it earlier, grab yourself something cozy and snuggle in, because actually by the time you're watching this, no, we'll still be here. But I say by the time you're watching this, we might be gone, but no, this is getting uploaded Saturday morning. So I will have like 30 some odd people at my house. Yes. I did realize though, going back, that I never shared my finished AlpineGlow on here. I only shared it as a whip. I didn't share it as a finished object. So I'm gonna run and grab that real quick. Hold that thought. Ta-da! So, finished AlpineGlow. So, AlpineGlow by Andrea Mowry. This is the AlpineGlow number 1, or the more feminine version of the pattern. This is knit out of my main body color, which is the blue, is Estate, no it's not, it's Highland Sport from Red Stag Fibre, so sport weight. My accent color up here is also the Highland Sport in antique leather. This is the Fuwa from MoonDrake. We don't currently stock this, but we are going to be having it when we have a special MoonDrake event in March. And then this is Spincylce. This was my little splurge project. I was able to get my size, which I can't remember if I did the size 3 or the size 4. I think the 3. That's kind of what I usually, for the most part, in Andrea Mowry's, end up knitting the size 3. It works for my bust without, I think technically I should have gone for a size 4, but I don't like that much positive ease. What was I gonna say with this? Oh, so with mine, I was able to get my Spincylce. No, it's not my phone. I'm literally using my phone to record. Wow. This was like a skein and a half of Spincylce, but you could easily swap out just a regular 1 color. This is the colorway Stay Ready, which is the neutral, and it was one of my DFW little splurges, but yeah. So that's that. AlpineGlow by Andrea Mowry. Oh, the Fuwa colorway is Toffee, which is almost an exact dupe for antique leather. Very, very similar color. Her Toffee color is just a bit more golden, if that makes sense. So yeah. So that's my finished objects. I'm pretty sure I don't have another one in here. I did, let me see. Okay, so I'm kind of like, what did I share? Because if y'all didn't see, last Sunday, Becky and I did a live, and it was wonderful, kind of a Christmas surprise live. So I did show the unblocked Grace Notes, and then I showed some of this stuff already. I had plans to have some of this finished, but has gotten in the way. However, I think now that I've figured out how I can brace my wrist and still knit at a decent speed, it will pick up. So if you missed the live, it is still on YouTube. However, I don't know why it doesn't show up in the regular video feed. I think it's because it doesn't have as many views yet. So if you are looking at our YouTube channel, there should be a tab somewhere in this general area that says live. If you click on that, it will show you the live video. I think it shows another one that says scheduled, but I don't know why, because that date has long since passed, and that was me trying to figure out how to get the live to work. But you'll see one where it's like a split screen Zoom, and that's me and Becky chatting about whips and yarn and knitting and all the fun things. So I encourage you, if you haven't seen it and you want to see some Becky content, go ahead and give the live a watch. It's not something we're going to do on a regular basis, but I think now and then we might have to do that because that was really fun. Okay, so moving on. a new cast on since the last true episode. I cast on another Oslo hat. I say last cast on, I could have had it last time. I honestly don't remember. But this is a slightly modified Oslo hat. I am not doing the triple brim. I just did the single fold over, and so I'm omitting the turning round where you have to go back and change direction. Once I stitch that brim together, I'm just keeping on going until I'm going to do the decreases. I'm also knitting a size smaller, and I went down a needle size. So this should fit Josh's head because it's fitting mine, and we have not too dissimilar head size. I mean, his head is bigger than mine, but obviously has less hair, so we end up wearing about the same. And he likes them to fit rather snugly for his ears. So the reason I even picked this for him, that's weird, is because of the thickness of the brim, and he likes it really nice and thick and snugly over his ears. And I want this to be a birthday gift. So I need to finish this. So let me just show you the stupidity of having to knit this way and how slow. It's not stupid. Any way you can knit is fine. It's just painfully slow. Let me see if I can even get it up here to show you guys. Okay, so I'm having to throw, which y'all know I don't normally do. So I've got like this little baby grip. I actually, on one project, there we go, that's a better grip. I can kind of tuck it up under there. Tried DPNs to like shove the DPN down in here, and that actually did work fairly decently. See? I can make it work. Like I said, it's just painfully slow. But my gauge hasn't changed, which is kind of funny. Because you would think the gauge would change, but not really. So that's me. So it's the Oslo Hat by Petite Knit. This is SandnesGarn Sunday. I'm holding it double in the colorway blue, just blue. And this is going to be a gift for Josh. He has seen me work on it, so, and obviously he's going to be editing this podcast, so I hope this is done for your birthday trip, because you're gonna need it where we're going. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm so excited about this trip. I need this trip. I need a break. I need some chill, relaxed time. And yeah. So anyway, worked on that. Also we talked on the live about getting older whips off the needles. And y'all, this is such an old whip. And the real reason I didn't work on it is because honestly, this was still at Josh's warehouse because he was using it just with one arm as a sample. This is the Kodikas out of Laine magazine, issue 13, I believe. It's the teal one. And it's the Kodikas unisex sweater. So last time, well, when he brought it back from the warehouse, he's like, can you finish this? And I had just found the ball of yarn that I needed for it. So I was like, yes. So he had this sleeve and the whole body. And this sleeve was not done. So he brought it back from the warehouse Monday, I think. Yeah. And so I've gotten this much done. So I'm counting my little crisscross cables here. The other sleeve has 14, and I think I'm on 9 or 10 right now. So I'm really close to being done. So my goal is to finish this as well before we leave. I really need to finish this Friday so it can block and dry Saturday, because I'd like for Josh to be able to take it on the trip and get some pictures at one of the places we're going to be going. It would look really, really good. So, and it would be nice and warm and cozy. It wouldn't be too blazing hot for him to wear. So again, pattern is Kodikas. I do not remember who the designer was. Terribly sorry. I will put it in the notes below, but it is out of Laine magazine issue 13. And the yarn is Highland DK from Red Stag in the colorway Aberdeenshire. And I'm knitting the 3rd size, which I believe is like a 44 chest measurement. Yes. So, moving on. I also have like a lot of plans for vacation knitting, which is why I definitely need to make sure the other wrist brace is good. Because like this to sleep in, it's annoying, but I can't tie it because of this thing. So anyway, enough about that. Then I also busted this out. Ba-bam. So this, I'm not even sure if I've talked about it on podcast, but I'm not sure if it ever made the light of day on a podcast, to be totally honest. This is the GoldStar by Max the Knitter, and this, it's now on the body, but this had been stuck right about here because of 3-color color work that I was just kind of frustrated with. And over the weekend I powered through the last of the color work and part of the main body. So I just have, I think, 3 more inches left in plain stockinette, and then I switch over to the bottom motif and ribbing. This is, like I said, the GoldStar by Max the Knitter, Maxim Cyr. It needs blocking to really open up everything and have a nice pretty look. But the yarn I'm using on this is also Estate DK from Red Stag Fibre. This is Antique Linen, Gilded, and then the gray is Castle Rock. So I chose colors very similar to Max's original colors, but if you want his original colors, I actually happen to have them now in store. It was the tones from Brooklyn Tweed, and the baseline undertone and overtone is what he used for his 2 main body colors, with the yellow, I believe it's goldenrod color for that. Like I said, I have all the tones colors are now back in stock. Also have the shelter. They came back several weeks ago, but we still have those. And then the only other thing, and I haven't made much progress on it because honestly I was trying to get through this GoldStar and finish my other one, is my Friday tee from Petite Knit. It's all jammed up on here, so it's not really that thrilling to look at, but I do plan on taking this on vacation. Is this inside out? No, it's not. This is a ribbed tee in SandnesGarn Sunday. The colors are light beige and blue, and it's just a really fun like broken rib texture that's very kind of potato chippy because of the stripes. It is designed to be a short sleeve tee, which I think I'm going to keep it as a short sleeve tee. I don't think I'm going to lengthen the sleeves on it. And yeah, that's all I have for knitting right now. So sorry, there's like sunlight. We actually have sun. We got a cold front that came through, and the sun is hitting some car windows right outside, and it's like glaring, and so I'm having trouble focusing. I feel like it's a short episode because I don't have, I need sunglasses in here. Oh, that's better. This is gonna be weird finishing the podcast like cockeyed, but I don't even know what I was saying. Pause. Oh, I have big plans on taking things to knit on vacation because we have 4 flights basically to take, and like a 40-minute Uber ride to get to the location, and then there'll be a lot of chill time as well. I don't have tons of stuff planned for the trip because I wanted, like, I have a couple things planned, but then the rest of the time is just, well, we can do this, this, and this, but we can also just sit at X and look at X. I'm being very vague because I know he's going to watch this, and so I don't want to give away any secrets or any clues to where we might be going. So if you're interested, this is kind of a thing that obviously COVID kind of screwed up some of this stuff, but before I would always plan a birthday surprise. It wasn't always a trip, but a surprise dinner party, like with friends that he didn't know about, Josh didn't know about, or a surprise trip, or a surprise adventure. So it started when we were dating. No, we were married. First year married. Yeah, because when we were dating, I was actually gone for his birthday. I was out of the country. So I surprised him with a dinner at a really nice restaurant before we left. It was early. Well, the first year we were married, I surprised Josh with the, it had just opened up, iFly. It's the indoor skydiving, you know, where they just blow the air on you and you whoo, float around. I surprised him with tickets to do that. And then dinner, or we ate dinner afterwards, or lunch or something like that. So I had the whole day kind of planned out. So that was his surprise. That was his first birthday when we were married. What did I do then? I was 26, 27. I don't really remember what we did. And then I did a birthday party thing with friends that he was surprised with, that he didn't know about. And then another one was we went to go do another activity. I don't remember what it was, but I have pictures somewhere. And then 2019, I surprised him with a trip to Aberdeen, Scotland. That one I was the most proud of because I kept that under wraps until we were in the airport. I kind of plan to keep this one under wraps until we're at the airport as well. It's not as thrilling as Aberdeen, Scotland, but that was also for his 35th birthday, Aberdeen, I'm pretty sure. So that was kind of a monumental birthday. So next year's a very monumental birthday. If you can't guess, that's 40. So I've already got plans in the works for that one, and that one will be pretty spectacular if I can pull off what I'm thinking. Not that this one won't be really fun and spectacular, and I think he's not expecting where we're going. It's gonna be really a fun surprise. I think he's gonna really love it. So anyway, tune in next week to find out where this mystery location is. I will say it is cold there right now, but so far there's not snow on the ground. So very cold, but not snowing yet. But they do get snow. So anyway, I don't really have anything else to talk about. I feel like I'm rambling. I'm going to, my watch goes here, and so I keep like, I'm gonna stop talking about my hand now because I feel like that's all I've talked about. This episode is weird to me, but welcome to Mercury in retrograde. So have a great rest of your day, whatever you might be doing on this beautiful, I will say Saturday, because that's probably, if you're watching it right when we upload it, that's when you're watching it. But whatever day it is, I hope you have a great rest of your day and that you don't have a busted up hand or broken refrigerator glass or burned pans or anything else. That you have a wonderful day filled with crafting or knitting or reading or whatever it is that brings you happiness and joy. And wait a second. Will I podcast before Christmas? Yes, I should be able to squeeze in one more podcast before Christmas. So in case you don't watch the podcast, because I'll be able to get the podcast up before Christmas. So in case this is the last podcast that you see before Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, happy anything that you happen to celebrate during this festive time of year. And we will see you on the next episode. Bye, everyone.